Up here for a second.
So this is our friend Lady J, our resident pick-me here that everyone just loves. All the men just love her, but they don't ever pick her.
Oh, I'm sure this is a great video, all 4.5 minutes of it. But I'm not actually going to watch it. You see, after seeing the first 30 seconds where it starts out with name-calling, yeah, I'm not really interested anymore. Besides, I'm not really interested in the opinion of someone who's trying to generalize all men.
Ladies, don't be nice to ugly men because they wouldn't be nice to you if you were ugly.
Really? And where is this coming from?
Coming from a former ugly girl, mediocre girl, I've been all of it.
Yeah, indeed.
And I've reached the good looking. I'm considered good looking now, a little bit.
Well, they do say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
They're way nicer to me now. In fact, I can say really mean stuff. I can be demanding and they give me what I want.
Gee, I wonder why that could be.
All you have to be is hot. They don't care.
Oh, I don't know about that, but let's continue.
So, treat them how they would treat you if you were ugly.
I have a better idea. How about we treat people based on the type of person that they are, rather than based on what they look like?
If they're going to be that demanding of us, of just basic human respect and kindness based on our appearance, then we should do the same.
What happened to treating people as you would want to be treated? That must have gone the same way as manners.
And don't tell me you're watching this video because you like my face, man, because we know you are.
Oh, here we go.
You don't even care about my attitude. I just bash the shit out of you. And you're going to say, what? Oh, she's so cute. I know how you work. I have a guy on here said, I want you. Why? Why do you want me?
Now that's genuinely a good question.
Because I'm cute a little bit? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, guys might want a woman based on how she looks for the now, but based on her attitude, that will determine if he sticks around.
Look, whenever a man texts me and says, I hope you have a good day, I hope you have a good week, I hope...
What? What does one really hope when a guy says that?
That you shut the fuck up. You right there. Get out of my face. Get out of my phone.
But why? What's so wrong with a guy saying, I hope you have a good day?
Like, put some effort. Actually try to make me have a good day, you know?
So what does a guy really have to do to show that he's putting forth some effort to ensure that one has a good day?
Like, send me a coffee. Can you send me flowers? Can you send me you? Can you send me food?
So one can't possibly have a good day unless the guy shows up, which, okay, I get that. Or he sends one something of monetary value. Right.
Bro, you telling me I hope you have a good day doesn't... Why would I have a good day just because you say that? Actually, you just pissed me off. Now you just pissed me off. My day went from bad to worse.
And all that just because a guy said to have a good day. Those goalposts just keep moving, don't they? Who else remembers when the bare minimum was just a guy sending a good morning text? My goodness, this is evidence that some individuals will never be satisfied. It has finally happened. It really has. So everyone, it is with mixed emotions that I'm here to announce that a whole new level of petty on social media has finally been unlocked. And this is in large part due to the efforts of the emotionally immature and the highly vindictive that we have come to this new point in our society. So yes, imagine the amount of entitlement that a person must have that due to hurt feelings all over someone not fighting hard enough for their love in a relationship, that they would take it upon themselves to try, and I do mean try, sign their boyfriend up for the military and enter him into a completely new lifestyle and completely change their life forever. Again, this is all over hurt feelings. It's really nice that people post their red flags so willingly, isn't it? Oh, I love opinions, especially opinions that are based on assumptions. This might come as a complete shock, I'm sure, but at least half of my followers aren't men. Nor are they middle-aged, nor are they white. But thanks for proving what making assumptions and putting them in writing really does.
I've not seen any women crying over passport bros.
Not exactly crying, but there are definitely a lot of videos out there of women making videos about men who are seemingly rather confused why men wouldn't want to date women in their own countries.
However, I have seen a lot of women laughing at passport bros, because we can replace men like you with cats and dogs.
That is really great news, because that means there's soon to be a great reduction in the homeless pet population.
But y'all have to literally go to another country because no other woman in your own country wants you anymore.
No, that is not why some men are choosing to go to other countries in hopes of finding their life partner. It's because many aspects of modern society, to include some aspects of modern feminism, has turned the dating pool for men into a veritable cesspool of toxic behavior.
That's what we call a whole cope, honey.
Actually, that's what we call men making the best decisions for themselves, their futures, and their mental health.
One thing's for sure, two things for certain. These modern women hate to see you happy. Well, you ain't approaching us. It's pathetic that you have to go to another country to approach women. Well, I don't have to. I'm going to. I'm walking away from you. I'm not dating you anymore. I'm not approaching you anymore. I don't want to be in your friend zone anymore. I'm respecting myself. Remember, decentering women like you.
What is wrong with men?
Eyes up here, gentlemen.
I just went on a first date. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. We had dinner, drinks, got along.
Okay, so what went wrong?
Tell me why this man at the end of the date goes. He walks me to my car and he goes, "Had such a wonderful evening with you. It was so great. Great to get to know you. Can I kiss you?" Don't ever ask a girl, "Can I kiss you?"
Oh dear.
That is an immediate ick.
So a guy asking permission to kiss you is an ick now? Okay.
Like, do you guys just not have balls anymore?
What? No, they're probably worried about possible charges.
Literally, he should have just gone and been like, "I had a great date with you, we had great chemistry," and then gave me a nice little smooch on the lips, and then we called it a night.
Something that one isn't taking into consideration is that with the wrong person, that could go oh so wrong.
There is nothing more unattractive than a man asking if they can kiss you. Men, do better.
Seriously? I can honestly say I can see how so many men would be confused what with all of the mixed messages being put out there. On one hand, you have some women saying that they want men to ask permission before doing absolutely anything, and then there's videos like this. I guess, guys, you just can't win.
Pretty nice here, huh?
Well, she seems like a great conversationalist.
Look, I get you a drink or something. I mean, I just ordered you water because I figured you want to look over the drink menus.
Maybe she's just shy. Right.
Sorry I couldn't get that reservation. I mean, we can go somewhere else if you want. I just want you to have a good time.
Well, the gentleman is at least trying his best, I will say, to make his date feel at ease, engage in conversation, feel more comfortable. Meanwhile, they're doing their best impersonation of a lamppost.
You look great tonight. I like your jacket. Is that leather? Your profile said that you love to go mountain climbing.
Honestly, if I were the guy, I would have left by now and made them pay for their own food.
Tell me about it.
They do speak after all. It's a miracle. Unfortunately, it really didn't sound like they were apologizing for not only one, their overtly rude behavior, but also for making a lot of women look bad. Because unfortunately, gentlemen, there are women out there that will date you just for the food. But rest assured, they are the exception and not the rule.
How much do you think the average American makes a year?
Maybe like 400K, 450.
Wait, how much?
I think the average American makes a year.
I don't know, maybe like $500,000.
Is it just me, or does anyone else want to live in their particular imaginary world?
Average American makes a year. 200,000? 250,000?
The level of absolute privilege that some of these individuals must live in just boggles the mind. But what I really would have want to have seen is any of their particular reactions when they were told what the actual average American income really is. Because as of 2023, the average American income is $56,900 and some dollars. That's quite a ways off from even the lowest estimate that any of them had. Of what?
Average American makes a year.
90 to 100K?
Yes, that was the lowest estimate. They're in for a rude awakening.
Women are not attracted to masculine energy. They're
Since when?
attracted to feminine energy.
Sure.
Okay? So your necklace, that's feminine. Jewelry is feminine, right?
Jewelry is feminine. Right, because only women traditionally wear jewelry, right? Anyone else can't wait to hear what else is considered to be feminine?
Money is feminine. Cars.
Wait. Money's feminine?
Yes, money is feminine. Anything, attractive energy is feminine. Attraction is about femininity.
Now, I can only speak for myself here, but I've never been attracted to feminine energy.
Anything that's operating in feminine energy is pulling attention towards it. So women are feminine, they're in the feminine vessel, and just them existing pulls attention towards them. So the only way that you know that a man has masculine energy
Oh, this ought to be good.
is based on how much feminine energy he acquires.
So let's review. The only way a man can have masculine energy is to acquire a large amount of feminine energy. Is anyone else finding that just a tad bit odd? Up here for a second.
So this is our friend Lady J, you know, our resident pick-me here that everyone just loves. All the men just love her, but they don't ever pick her.
Oh, I'm sure this is a great video, all 4.5 minutes of it, but I'm not actually going to watch it. You see, after seeing the first 30 seconds where it starts out with name-calling, yeah, I'm not really interested anymore. Besides, I'm not really interested in the opinion of someone who's trying to generalize all men.
If you're new here, I'm homeless.
Okay.
This is one of my boyfriend's place. He's in the other room, but I can't believe I was wasting my money on rent all this time. Life hack, if you're hot, do not ever pay rent.
I'm genuinely almost afraid to see where this is going.
You can literally just go on Hinge and stay at different guys' places for free every single night.
No, that's a terrible idea. That sounds like a recipe for possible disaster. I mean, what could go wrong besides everything?
Nothing bad has happened to me yet.
The key word there is yet.
I'll let you know how long I can keep going with this until I'm sleeping in my car.
I'm genuinely hoping that this is all just a joke.
Because they do only last a few nights and then they break up with me because they realize I'm using them. But so far so good.
So far, so good. Yeah, right. I'll say it again. I really hope that this is a joke and that they're not serious, because giving this type of advice is inviting disaster. As if there already wasn't enough reason for most people just not to want to date at all. Now they have to be aware of people that could possibly just be using them for a place to stay. What a world.
If men want to do better, they need to start with the conversations they have about women when we're not around.
Excellent notion. While we're at it, let's discuss what women say about men when men aren't around. Not to mention some of the things that women feel justified in saying about men on social media. Because some believe that women can't be sexist towards men.
Swear to God, if one more man tells me at the end of a date that I have taught him so much, I'm going to lose my...
Why? Is that such a terrible thing? I mean, that's rather contrary to what a lot of women have actually been saying for years. That they want men to learn from women. To understand what they are saying, to have an appreciation for what women go through, to be able to understand from a point of view of a woman. And now, according to some, apparently that's wrong. But why is that?
Women are not your teachers, women are not your teachers, women are not here to make you better men, women are not your teachers.
Serious question. Since a lot of women have indicated that they actually do want men to learn more about women, how to treat women, and how they think, and in fact to be better men, if some women, in fact, don't think it's their job to teach them, how are these men going to learn? Are they to go to other men for this information? As that seems rather contradictory, because a lot of women say that most men don't understand women at all. So how exactly are they going to learn if no one's willing to teach them?
The kind of guys you would date, not even I do, the kind of guys you would date, what percent of America do you think they'd be?
And let's see how this goes.
0.2?
0.2% of America would be the kind of guys you date.
Yes.
That's a pretty small percentage. Let's find out why.
Can we put that to the test?
Sure.
Does the guy want kids?
Yes.
All right, yes. What is the minimum age you would go?
22.
What is the oldest you would go?
28.
28. All right, what is your minimum height?
6'2".
Oh yes, 6'2". How very reasonable indeed.
See, right, that's what gets him every time, right there. What is the maximum height?
6'4".
6'4". All right, minimum income.
For a year, 65.
60. Okay, that's rational.
Agreed. That's actually better than I was expecting.
Can he smoke or no? Either?
Not either, yeah.
Can he drink or no? Yes. Either? Yeah. I'm guessing we're excluding married men. Would you date a married guy?
No.
Wise decision, because there are lots of individuals that really don't seem to care about that.
And obese guys?
Oh, would you say? Oh,
Could you date an obese man or no?
probably not.
All right. It's an obese, yes. All right, let's find out. Your percent of guys are? You said 0.2% of the guys looking for it. Can you read?
And the final answer is
0.024.
0.02%. It's 1/10 of what she expected. How crazy is that? So in America, there's only 39,595 guys who meet your description.
having standards is a wonderful thing, and everyone should have their standards. However, sometimes when a person sees the actual numbers involved, perhaps they should consider being a little less picky.
Why do I not care that men are losing hope?
Yes, I think many of us would actually consider that to be a very valid question.
Have you seen men recently?
Yes, on a daily basis. And?
Have you dated them or been married to them?
Yes, actually both. But I'm still wondering, as I'm sure as are many others, where exactly is this going in regards to answering the initial question?
You know how they think and operate?
For the most part, yes. And the answer to the question is?
Do you know what they do and how they treat women?
Please allow me to help out a little bit here. The correct way to phrase that question should be how some men treat women. But continue.
Have you seen what they're capable of?
Meaning the same things that almost every single person is capable of?
Have you ever dated one?
One already asked that question, actually. But I find it rather telling that one isn't actually able to provide a single answer and instead just deflects to asking more questions.
Clean your room. No, it's not.
Who is that? When he's talking to his mom, he feels safe, showing those vulnerable emotions. But then the minute that dad raises his voice and says, "Hey," he stops.
The child is reacting in that way because they have found that when they do, their mother responds in a way which turns out to be positive for that child. That is called positive reinforcement. It's reinforcing that behavior. Now, that behavior is not a favorable reaction. However, the positive reinforcement keeps encouraging the child to react in such a manner. Take that into consideration.
If he's not talking to multiple girls, it's kind of a red flag.
All right, fine. I'll ask. How exactly is that a red flag?
Why does no one want this one? No one wants this one?
Is this supposed to be another fine example of some feminine logic? Some women only want a guy when other women want him?
Why not? What's wrong? Was there a conversation that I missed?
Sorry guys, it looks like no matter what you do, you're gonna come out looking bad in someone's eyes. Because either you don't talk to enough women, or you talk to too many women. It's like there's no winning here, is there?
I think this is from Strawberry Milk Mob or Coconut Milk Mob or something like that. And they're usually pretty silly with their videos, so this is probably satire.
You're a woman that goes into the gym and you ask yourself, like, why does every man stare at me? Why don't I get approached by these men? Is something wrong with me? I'm gonna tell you the answer.
Do tell.
I'm not being delulu, this is just facts, I know it, and I've heard it from men saying why they don't approach me. The reason why you are not getting approached is because these men see you as a woman with high value. A lot of men just want to have fun, so they go and push themselves on women that they think don't have high value. This is the truth. Like, I'm trying to be kind, but that is the truth. If you are not getting approached in a place where everyone's breaking their necks to stare at you, they know that if they approach you, you will hurt their ego.
Interesting.
And they know that you are better than them. Men can sense if a woman is better than them, and that intimidates them. That just makes them scared, like, oh shit, no woman can be better than me. And personally, I take this as a compliment if I'm out in public getting a lot of stares.
Well, that was interesting. But guys aren't approaching women at the gym because they think that they're too high value. A person can't tell if another person's high value just by looking at them. They might get some clues, but a person actually has to get to know someone to find out if they're high value or not. First and foremost, hitting on a woman at the gym goes against gym etiquette. Guys are there to work out, not hit on women. And notwithstanding the fact that a lot of guys are actually shy, and it's only going to be the really confident ones that actually approach women, but even then, guys have been told over and over again, don't approach women, because unless that woman finds you attractive, it's considered to be creepy. So, with all that taken into consideration, it has nothing to do with the men thinking that you're too high value. It has to do with men being prudent.
Men, I have another question for you.
And let's hear this one.
Why is it that we as women will send you a text explaining exactly why we're upset with you? Every little detail, making it clear as day. And then you will respond with, what do you mean?
Well, the major problem here is that one sent that through text message, as opposed to actually having an in-person conversation with the man explaining exactly what was wrong, so that then he could ask questions if there was need of clarification.
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Exactly what it sounds like. That's why it's best to have these conversations in person.
Because unless you literally cannot read, which might be the case, I never thought about that. Maybe you can't read. But if you can read, there's no confusion.
Obviously there was, or else there wouldn't be any need to ask for clarification. Now would there be?
Like, nothing makes me want to throw my phone out the window more.
Ironically, the fact that one actually is asking these questions probably one that makes a lot of people throw their phones out the window.
This is why I support just ghosting, because what do you mean? What do I mean? How do you not know what I mean? So yeah, explain yourselves. Like, can you guys not read? I just need to know, because if that's the case, that's a different story.
It's not that they can't read. It's just that all that time that one spent sending paragraphs of information to a guy explaining one's feelings would have been better spent with an in-person conversation.
Guys, let's get our passports.
She's still not gonna choose you, baby. I'm sorry.
Actually, they will, and many have been. The main reason is that with the toxicity of modern feminism as it is, has a great many women in America saying things like this.
Why is a woman being independent triggering for you?
Doing things like this. And then wondering why when they keep making the same choices, still can't find a good man. And from what I can tell, most men are just tired of trying to navigate the modern dating field when the majority of what they seem to encounter is women that want to be seen as independent yet be taken care of, don't offer much other than their physical appearance, and when things don't go their way, blame everything on all men. So who can really blame them? I'm actually over 40, and I've got plenty of time. My bills are already paid.
Since a lot of men are visual creatures, let me walk through what I just made.
Oh, good. A visual aid.
Why I won't sleep with a man who makes less than $200,000 a year.
I wonder if it's because they want someone to support them as opposed to a partner for life. Huh.
The average one-bedroom apartment in LA, this is where I live, is $2,800 a month, although my rent is significantly more than this. That means that you have to make 3 times the rent in order to qualify.
So far, that's exactly what it's sounding like.
$8,400 a month before taxes and $800,000 a year. But hold on, I know what you're thinking.
Oh, I'm not exactly sure that one knows what I'm thinking.
Sounds like a lot of money. Just wait. Men want to do this thing where they want to take their pants off, and that's fine because I want to take my pants off too. But hold on. If we have a little baby, oops, the average 2-bedroom in Los Angeles is $3,800. That means that you now have to make $11,400 a month, which brings you to $136,800 a year.
Okay, let me save everyone a little bit of time here. The fact of the matter is that men that make this type of money or more per year, the second that they hear these are the types of qualifications that they must have just to engage in some sort of physical activity, are going to run immediately in the other direction. Because men that have this type of income usually know exactly what they want out of a relationship. If it's more than just a physical encounter, they are actually looking for someone that can bring something to that dreaded table other than just their physical appearance. So no, having these types of requirements isn't going to help. If anything, it's going to help one remain single.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I have never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after the other, consecutively in a row.
Okay, listen up. This is a PSA for all men. If you're not a man, keep scrolling.
No, not today. I've got to hear this.
Come here. Come a little closer. You are not the prize.
Wait, what was that?
You are not the prize. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, the last time I checked, a prize is something that people compete over to get. The last time I checked, you're not seeing a whole lot of men anymore competing to get the attention of women. But we certainly are seeing a lot of women, a lot of the same women, competing for the attention of the same 1% of men. So, who's the prize?
I love when men say, how are you going to reproduce if all the men are gone?
I mean, that is a good question.
First of all, last time I checked, you need us also. Like, it's a 2-part equation. But what do I know? I'm just a woman.
Ah, yes, here we go.
So have you ever thought that maybe that's the goal? Women know the human race is going to go extinct if we stop having kids.
Okay, and I'm sure that this is leading up to something.
Maybe give us any incentive. Maybe then we'll change our minds a little bit. We do all the work, we sacrifice the most, and we get the least.
So it's women that do everything, do they?
We risk our lives to further the next generation, and then we're told that we're ugly because we've had kids.
What?
We know that once we have kids, we have to serve them our whole entire lives. And we also know if there's a man involved, we're serving that man too. And we're the ones that don't get taken care of. We're told all we're good for is having kids. And then we have kids and then we're not valued or appreciated.
When I hear stuff like this, it really makes me wonder, what type of men are they talking to? Because it sounds like they're talking to exactly the wrong type of men.
It's not that we just don't like men. We don't like the way that society treats women. We don't like the way that society treats moms.
Who is this we?
We know that if we have kids, in some ways, we're going to make little mini-me's of the men that we have kids with. And these men are idiots.
So they're just insulting the children now, based on their inability to be an effectual parent.
Men are the ones who get to have the hobbies, they get to make the money, they get to have the side chicks, they get to go golfing. They're the ones in power, they're the ones setting the policies.
Anyone else getting tired of this particular narrative?
We're told that having kids is the highest thing we could aspire to ever. And we're told that by men who love to have us in our place.
Okay, I see the problem here. One is doing the same thing and choosing the same men over and over again, expecting a different result. If one wants to stop being treated like crap by crappy men, pick better men.
Do you think that American women are unmarriageable? Or are there certain women out there who do have the quality?
Get those safe spaces ready, because this just might hurt a few feelings. Because there's a lot of American women that will never be considered marriage material, because quite frankly, a lot of these women are just too selfish to be in any kind of long-term relationship, let alone a marriage. Because the amount of time, effort, and self-sacrifice, and yes, that's by both parties in that relationship, that is required to make a marriage work, does not often occur to those individuals who often only think about how to get ahead financially or socially, and tend to view relationships as strictly transactional, as a lot of American women do. Not to mention that a lot of these women also want to go into these relationships being treated like princesses and queens, but yet do not bring anything to the table except for their looks and a sense of entitlement. And yes, there are exceptions to this, of course, but by and large, that is why a lot of American women will never be considered marriage material.
There is a reason that men make fun of single women.
And what reason would that be?
Whether it be a single mom or someone who's just chosen to never marry. And it's because they feel threatened.
Somehow I doubt that.
The more women who take that route, the less women there will be available to them. And they're afraid of other women looking at those women who are single and being like, oh, like she's actually pretty happy and satisfied, and then following suit.
That's an interesting theory. I'll give one that.
So they make fun of them and try to paint them in a bad light so that doesn't happen.
That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
And the reason men want a larger dating pool is not because they actually like women and want to find like their soulmate or someone they love they want to share their life with.
Oh, okay. So what is the reason?
They're afraid of being alone. Well, they are afraid of being alone.
Some perhaps, but a large amount of men are actually perfectly happy being single.
But it's because they don't know how to do things for themselves. They want a wife because they want someone to cook and clean for them and take care of everything and basically be their mother who they can also sleep with.
That's actually not what most men want, but by all means, go on with that narrative.
Nothing makes a man angrier than seeing an older woman who is single and happy. Before, men come in my comments like, I am married. I am married to a man. But if you don't want to be alone forever, you're just gonna have to step up because women are finally standing up for themselves and asking for more. And that more is what they've always deserved.
Granted, there are some men out there that do seem to enjoy making fun of women that are single. However, whether right or wrong, a lot of those women tend to make it a little bit too easy to do. But I digress. But do bear in mind that there are quite a few men out there that are actually choosing the peace of being single for a lot of the same reasons that women are. But I guess if one is going to worry about men making fun of women that are going to remain single, then I suppose one should keep that same energy for women that make fun of men for doing the very same thing.
Intentional weight loss, so you purposely saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, is phobic.
I just can't wait to hear why.
And you might be like, what? Oh my goodness. I'm not trying to be phobic, but you are. You're being phobic to yourself.
What?
Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? It's probably to fit into something smaller. It's probably so people treat you better. It's probably for all the reasons that folks are shamed simply for being fat.
Really? Oh dear.
Continuing to perpetuate that, right? Seeking intentional weight loss, we are contributing to our phobic society. So that's why intentional weight loss is phobic.
Who else picked up on the irony of an individual trying to stand up against by intentionally trying to shame individuals into getting them to not want to intentionally lose weight so that they won't be called fat? Wow.
You can tell these modern women have gone to school, but what are they teaching them in school? This is what you have to look forward to. If this is what men have to marry, men, you have to walk away. There's no way that you can be in a relationship. There's no way that you can approach this. There's no way that men in 2025 should be walking up and approaching this, should be wanting to date this. This is the type of woman that you ignore, just off rip. Just with sense like this? No.
Who remembers this person? Well, guess what?
A 29-year-old woman who currently owes a man named James Watt 600,000 pounds after essentially Tinder swindling the shit out of him. According to the Scottish Sun, Zeem and Watt met on Instagram in 2020 and began a relationship that Zeem herself described as sometimes romantic. Starting about May of 2021, Watt became aware of false allegations being made about him through an account from a woman claiming to be named Laura Keller. Zeem began convincing Watt that Keller was one of many women involved in a plot to bring him down, and even kindly offered to find out who these conspirators were for a small, humble sum of £25,000 each. And Watt paid up in the total of £100,000 for 4 leads each from Zeem, all of which were entirely fabricated. After finally getting suspicious enough, Watt hired a private investigator to look into Zeem, who found that the Laura Keller account responsible for many false allegations was actually tied directly to Zeem's place of employment and place of residence. With this evidence, the Scottish court was able to conclusively find Emily Zeem responsible for the Laura Keller troll account, which was designed to lure Watt in with the threat of false allegations to invoke enough fear to scam money out of him. The court has ordered Zeem to pay back 6 times the amount she stole, which Watt claims he's going to donate to charity should she ever pay up. And so I get it now. Knowing what I know now, I'm now understanding why her advocacy for victims felt so disingenuous.
Karma is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Women are not meant to work 9-to-5 jobs.
Well, this should be interesting.
I said this before and I'll say it again. We shouldn't have to work 9-to-5 jobs.
What should we, women, be doing with our time?
Women are meant to go to Pilates class, tan by a pool, read a good book, take care of the children, make good food, and be provided for by a man.
It sounds like one thinks that only the men should have to work. I mean, how far back in time do we want to go? Does one still want the ability to be able to vote?
There's no way a woman can be in her feminine energy if she's sitting at a 9-to-5 job or she's unhappy.
Oh, good. That feminine energy thing. Again.
First part is there's women out there that are having to fill that masculine role in the office, getting things done.
Working is masculine now, so apparently is getting things done. Noted.
Because they have to be. They're covering bills. They're paying for half a dinner when a man should be paying for the tab every time.
I guess some women don't really want to be independent women, do they?
When did we as a society decide that women should go to a 9-to-5 job, feel some gratification, instead of staying at home with the kids?
It never ceases to amaze me how many individuals actually seem to have entirely skipped history class of how hard so many women and men had to work just so that women could be seen as equals in society.
If a woman wants to work part-time so she can spend more time with her kids at home, she should be able to do that. And don't get me wrong, if you want to work a 9-to-5 job, you go do that. But I'm just saying, women shouldn't have to.
Well then, in the spirit of equality, I guess that means that men shouldn't have to work either. But let's see how well that'll go for society when everybody is so entitled that they don't think that they have to work.
I actually don't think men can get the ick.
They absolutely can. A lot of men actually get the ick by hearing women tell them what is their ick. But let's continue.
I think the ick is reversed with men. It's something that they have built in towards all women. And
oh, of course they do. But let's find out why.
The only chance of them actually reversing the ick is to find a woman that they actually like and respect as a human being. What I mean by the ick is built in, it's built into society. They're all taught to dislike women on a deep, fundamental level.
Ah, yes, more breaking news from that generalization station about all men. Let's hear more.
We're taught to view women as lesser. We're taught to demonize anything feminine, especially men, which is why they have like this built-in ick for all women.
No, it's just the mindset that a lot of women seem to have, which really gives men the ick.
And women don't have that for men because we favor one gender over the other, and very much so. So that's why the ick in men and women is very much reversed.
Well, remember, gentlemen, if you didn't have the ick going into this video, probably a lot of you do now.
Y'all cannot be trusted until you are proven safe.
What an interesting statement. And according to the captions, it's all men.
And if that bothers you...
Let me guess, does it mean that those men that have a problem with being generalized are part of the problem?
You are not safe.
I'm sure we're all very surprised to hear someone come to that Logical conclusion?
Because men who are safe have no problem proving it.
And I wonder, how exactly does a man prove that he's safe?
Their actions, their demeanor speaks for itself.
Does it now? I'm actually really glad that one said that, actually. Because if actions and behavior truly speak for themselves, then that speaks volumes about any individual that would go so far as to generalize any demographic of people based on the actions of some. And then to say that those members of that group have to prove themselves to be safe in order for other people to view them as such. Can we apply that logic to every group of people? Or is it only socially acceptable to do that towards men?
Men, there's literally only one thing that women want you to understand, and it's this.
Oh, just one thing? And what is that one thing?
You doing something because we've asked you to do it is not the same thing as just doing the thing.
Do explain, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that are confused by this.
So if you're the kind of guy that says to your wife or girlfriend, hey babe, yeah, just like whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. Like whatever cleaning you need help with, just like tell me what to do. I get where you're going with that. I know what you think it's doing.
Okay, so they're asking for basic communication of that person's wants and needs. What's wrong with that?
But it's not doing the thing that you think it's doing.
Oh, do tell us, what is it doing?
Because that means your partner is still in charge of the mental load of figuring out what needs to be done in the house.
Yet another example of some women who just want men to miraculously know what exactly they want done without actually them articulating it into words that are easily understood.
One of the fastest way that I block men and I test men.
Tell us, what brilliant strategy does one use?
If I tell them I'm at the nail salon.
Okay, now I'm curious.
And if they ask me what color I'm getting, cool. If they don't say how much is it, or what's your Cash App, or what's your Zelle, so I can cover the cost, you're blocked. You're blocked.
Let me get this straight. One's going to block a guy because he's not offering to pay for one's nails. My goodness. If one's that broke, one shouldn't be getting one's nails done in the first place.
Because at that point, you're a taker.
Speaks the voice of experience.
And men like that, they love to say, okay, text me a picture of your nails when you get it done. Sorry, Bookie. You're already added to the block list by saying that.
I can almost see with perfect clarity a video that one is going to make in a few years.
You, as a man, are supposed to be a provider, meaning that you provide. Why are you asking me to send me a picture of the nails done? If I don't pay for it, how am I going to send you a picture? Block those men.
This video is obviously just a warm-up that a lot of women with this mentality are going to be making in a few years, asking, where are all the good men at?
This is why modern women can't get a man. This is why a man doesn't want to be involved with modern women. This is why men are staying single. Modern women routinely express that they really don't understand, whether it be directly coming out of their mouths, word for word, verbatim, or with comments like this. Well, I bring the money, the intimacy, the babies, the house care, and the man only brings the money. Routinely, modern women downplay or just completely don't even acknowledge the role that men play in society while using the things that men have made, built, structured in society. So if you're still asking the question, why men don't want to date you, why men are more than willing to stay single, why men are ignoring you, if you're still asking the question as a strong, independent woman, as a boss babe, oh, I don't understand why men keep on walking past me and men don't even stop to help. Men are saying no to helping me, to taking me out on a date, to courting me, to pursuing me, to chasing me. I don't understand. Are they sassy? What happened? Do women, men not like women anymore? No. We love women, but we don't want to be bothered with this type of foolishness, entitled and ignorant behavior. Maybe you need to hang around men for more than a day at this point and actually see what men do to make the world go around.
The only thing a man wants from you is access to your body.
Well, that's a rather dismal outlook, but it does kind of let a person know what types of men some individuals tend to interact with.
You cannot believe how many men have asked me this question. What do women really want?
And that's a very good question. I wonder what the answer is.
They're confused by emotional intimacy and true connection.
Ooh. Tell us more what one really thinks about men.
They are wild animals. They wake up and they say, let's go find somebody to date. Dating is about finding an F partner.
Probably shouldn't be painting all men with the same brush, but in case one wasn't aware, usually physical intimacy is part eventually of being in a relationship.
I'm starting to believe that men are literally lower conscious. Like they've never felt love before in their life and they don't know how to. All they know is physical pleasures, which they cannot control.
I'm really beginning to think that some women that make these types of statements are actually just demonstrating projection.
No, I don't broke guys.
So you're saying I'm broke?
I mean, to be honest, look at you.
Trying to determine someone's value by their outward appearance. I really hope one keeps that same energy when the aging process really starts to set in. Not to mention, those that really know their true value don't really feel the need to waste money trying to impress others by buying expensive clothes.
If you need a reminder of why men are trash.
Okay, let's hear this. Why are exactly men trash this time?
Last night, I went out with a friend of mine and we got to talking with this guy at the bar and he ended up revealing that he was separated, he had 2 children and was kind of like going through a hard time.
Cool story. Let's get to the point.
So we were like, oh my God, are you good? Like, this must be really upsetting. Like, you seem to be in a really bad place. He then proceeds to tell my friend and I that this is not his worst heartbreak, not even a little bit.
So he's doing what a lot of women are asking men to do. Share their feelings. I'm sure this is going to lead up to the men are trash part.
We were like, huh? He proceeds to tell us that his worst heartbreak was a girl he dated very briefly from high school to college and was like his puppy love. She ended things with him because she wanted to see other people. She broke his heart the worst. He's never really gotten over it. And like, she's the one that he thinks about, like ruminates over.
I guess they're not aware that the first love for a lot of guys is often the one that's the most impactful.
Now, this on the heels of Zayn saying that he's never been in love even though he has children with Gigi Hadid and has another woman's eyes tattooed on his chest. Whoa.
Get to the point, please.
At this point, I'm marrying my floor lamp because at least it's taller and doesn't have any exes. I don't know.
The logic used here is absolutely amazing, isn't it? Let's just bear in mind that this individual formed the opinion that men are trash based on the actions of one man actually opening up and sharing his feelings in regards to how the feelings that he had for his first love actually still affect him later in life. Enjoy that floor lamp.
Men are so funny because they'll be like, we're biologically stronger. We're stronger than women.
Well, in point of fact, they are. But I'm sure that one isn't saying that just to state the obvious. I'm sure that one has a point to make in regards to why one thinks that that is funny.
And then like one bad thing happens in their lives.
Oh, here we go. This little narrative.
Like, God forbid their parents get divorced when they're 12. Or like someone cheats on them and they're like, I'm actually never gonna recover. Actually, that's my whole personality now. And actually I'm gonna be mean to everyone in my life because of what Rebecca did when we were 17. And I'm like, yes, you're so strong. You strong man.
Who else noticed that delectable little bit of irony in which that individual has apparently failed to notice the ever-increasing popularity over the years of many individuals, and that includes women as well as men, using an event or events in their lives that they consider to be traumatic and making it the entire focal point of their entire life, if not the basis of their personalities. But I understand that it is absolutely so much easier to focus on men in these cases because that is what is popular, as opposed to noticing that individuals, instead of trying to heal from their traumas and learn from them, are allowing them to fester and grow and are not being able to heal from them.
Men wouldn't be so bothered if they weren't threatened.
Oh, that's the narrative we're going to go with this time, is it?
Like, bro, did I hit a nerve? Wouldn't be such a strong reaction if you were unbothered.
Let's see how this logic plays out.
Why are you so quick to defend your point of view? Like, bro, why do you feel so strongly about this?
Oh, so now if someone defends their point of view and feels strongly about something, that means that someone hit a nerve? Really?
If you really felt in control, you wouldn't be spiraling out.
I wonder if they're referring to one specific person or just men in general.
Think about how much energy men spend trying to suppress and oppress women.
I'm really getting tired of this narrative because women are absolutely not oppressed in the United States. But go on.
Energy that they could be spending doing other things. And it's funny because men are so afraid of women's rage.
And no, they're not.
And that's why they try so hard to keep us down. Because they know we've all been burned at the stake. They wonder why we can just feel things. A woman's intuition, right? It's so mysterious. Like, bro, we can read your minds and it terrifies you.
No, now we're just making stuff up. I see.
If you really felt so powerful, you wouldn't be scrambling. You wouldn't be reverting to really low-level bullying tactics.
Oh, like this video?
If posting on social media as a woman was a social experiment, bro, should I write a book?
Sure. I mean, who wouldn't want to read a book all about posting rage bait?
Alright, so let me get this straight. You invited me out to come to eat. And that was not even my idea, that was your idea, right?
So she invited him to go out to eat. Now let's continue.
Okay, and the problem is?
And I'm offering to pay half, and you want me to pay the whole thing?
So who should pay?
I'm the woman, I shouldn't have to pay anything.
Anything?
Yeah, I invited you out because I wanted to go out. That doesn't mean I have to pay.
But does it though?
No, this was your idea. Actually, I don't even have to be a gentleman to pay half of it.
I'm in agreement. I think he's being quite the gentleman offering to pay half. But then there's this.
Because you're gonna pay it all.
But this was your idea to come out. You're the one that invited me out.
And you're the man, so you have to pay the bill.
Says who?
That's a very good question. Says who?
Says me. What do you mean?
In what book is that written in?
It doesn't have to be written. That's just to prove.
And here I thought it was a rule somewhere too that someone who does the inviting actually does the paying.
I don't know what this argument is that modern women have that just says, I'm the woman, and the argument is over. You just make that statement and it's done. This is why men are done dating. This is why men are starting to ignore modern women. This is why men are starting to walk away from modern women, because they think, well, I'm just a girl, or I'm a woman is the end of the conversation. Well, even though I invited you out, this is what I wanted to do, and I'm the woman, I'm the prize. So therefore, that's it. Don't argue with me. Don't go back and forth with me. If you do, you're sassy. If you want something on Valentine's Day, you're sassy. If you want a little bit of respect, somebody to buy you things, you don't want to have to do all of the work all of the time. You don't want to have to pay all of the bills. You want me to do things in the relationship, then you're sassy. That turns men off. They don't want to deal with that. And that's just, in my opinion, plain stupid. And that's why a lot of men have decided, you know what, I'm not even approaching you. I'm not approaching foolishness like this. I'm not going to be involved with foolishness like that. I think I'm good.
This one's for all the dudes that complain that they just don't want to approach women anymore because they think they're going to be slapped with harassment.
And let's hear it.
Guys, you are making a mountain out of a molehill.
Really? And why is that?
You understand that that is worst possible case scenario.
Yes. And a lot of people's minds often go to the worst case scenario. I wonder, is one going to stop telling women to think of the worst case scenario when they're approached by men? Probably not, right?
And the likelihood of it actually happening is very, very, very slim.
I refer back to my previous question.
What's more likely to happen is that if you approach a woman and she is just not interested for whatever reason, which could be one of many reasons, mind you, she will likely just politely let you down easy.
Likely, yes. But that doesn't change the fact that most people's minds go off into what is the worst case scenario.
And in my professional opinion, that's worth taking the 5 seconds out of your day to go up to the woman that you're interested in and say hello.
Could it be worth it? Yes. Do a lot of guys want to risk the possibility of rejection or worse? No.
Because being all angry, butthurt in the comments, and just swearing off women and dating altogether is not helping you. It's only making your mental health worse.
What would really be nice to see is for some individuals to really stop downplaying the lived experiences of some men, as well as their fears and their feelings. I think we'd get a lot farther in communication if we would actually just start listening to each other.
Men don't want good women.
Excuse me, what was that?
I will repeat that. Men don't want good women. Y'all are boring and not a challenge.
Well, if that were true, just solely based on some of the ones that we see on social media, there would be a lot less single women out there asking where all the good men are at.
I've actually been thinking a lot about this. Men spend a lot of money on things that they love.
I can only imagine where this is going.
They spend money on a gym membership. They spend money on their cars. They spend money on watches, motorcycles, boys' toys. They're always expensive to fix. They're always really pricey. But when they buy these things and they invest their money into it, they love it. They spend so much time on what they invest in.
A lot of those things tend to bring men some sort of happiness. So that's a key element there. But go on.
So it got me thinking, let them spend money on you. Who cares if people call you a gold digger, a whatever, sugar baby, whatever.
Seriously, at this point, who did not see this coming?
Let them spend money on you. Because if they love spending money on the things they want to invest their time in, and it's you, I mean, what's wrong with that? Don't take dating advice from me, though. I don't date.
To be clear, a man is going to spend money on something that he really enjoys, that brings him peace, that brings him happiness. And if a man wants to spend money on a woman that does those things, that's one thing. It's entirely another, however, to go after a man specifically in hopes that he will do those things.
This is going to be a hard TikTok to watch.
And aren't those indeed sometimes the most fun to watch? So let's see.
How to know if a man is in his feminine era. It is literally a disease. It is literally a disease.
Is it now? So what are some of the symptoms of this disease?
Starting off strong with he wants you to text him first. What the is that? Literally, what the you mean you were waiting for me to text you first? Why the did I ever text you first?
Does the copious amount of swearing help, I wonder? Or is it simply there to mask the fact that one doesn't seem to understand that some men do actually appreciate knowing that they are wanted and that the woman is truly interested? So that is why some men would like women to text first.
Next, he's posting on his stories. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? Does he not have a job?
Really? Really, that's the route we're going? Every person that has social media doesn't have a job? No, okay.
The reason is, like, what are you doing on social media? Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, sure, you could have it, whatever. But
I'm sure all the men out there will be extremely grateful to hear that they are allowed to have social media because someone said so.
He shares his location on his story. Literally, are you a bitch?
Okay, that's enough of that. I think it's quite evident who the real one of those is in this dialogue.
Do you think if men had to do the work of wives, they would still want to get married?
Oh, this should be fun.
Like if the roles were reversed and the spousal expectations on wives and husbands swapped, right? The gender roles swapped. Do you think men would still want to be married as much?
Oh, we're still going with traditional gender roles in relationships, are we? Here I thought by this point in time feminists would have tried to eliminate that so that men and women could do equal things in relationships. But I'm sure this gets better.
Or is part of the appeal the invisible labor? This someone taking care of you and your property and your things and your children?
It's rather interesting that this individual is implying that men don't do most of the visible labor in these little scenarios that they're making up. Most men actually take care of the house, the vehicles, and do most of the visible manual labor. And a lot of men take care of children, but I'm sure there's more of a narrative to be pushed here.
Like, I think it's time we get some of these trad husbands to start making day in a life videos.
Yes, let's do that, because I'm sure it will be a great awakening to a lot of women that happen to have these particular mindsets that seem to think that men don't do anything.
Because I would love to see the perspective where they talk about marriage in a way that talks about the relationship and intimacy that they have within their relationships and their marriages, and not just the roles that they play and the domestic duties that they provide.
A person should always be very careful what they ask for, because they just might get it.
Girl brain is if you text him and he texts you back right away, ick!
I'm sure that there are many of us that have been waiting a very long time to hear the explanation of how girl brain actually works.
But if you text him and he takes like too long to respond, it's like, oh my god, like, does he even like me? Like, now I'm insecure, like I'm not feeling well, but also like kind of hot. But also like, don't be too quick.
So far, this is rather giving the impression that someone doesn't exactly know what they want.
Text him and then he answers like too soon. It's also like, oh my god, like he wants it so bad, like that's kind of like hot. You text him and he doesn't answer. Ultimate hotness. That is a hierarchy. That is the, oh my.
Let's sum up. If a guy texts too soon, that's bad. But if he texts soon, then that's attractive because the guy is eager. But if he takes a long time to text, that's bad because that makes a person feel insecure, but yet at the same time hot. But the ultimate hotness is not texting at all. There's a reason this is called girl brain and not grown woman brain.
I've always said, like, I want a nice guy.
Well, that's good, right?
Well, I've never said that. I've always been into like the of the male community.
Oh, great. And I bet that's turned out so well.
Because I was so traumatized by them. I'm sitting there being like, I want a nice man. Like, why can't a guy just come to my life and be so nice and like be obsessed with me?
No, dear.
And then I find like a guy that's really nice and I am so thrown off. Like, I really did find a guy who's like super nice, like the most respectful, like anything I really need, like he's gonna do it for you.
But let me guess, there was a problem.
I'm sitting there like, like I'm the problem. I'm the problem.
Well, good for them and taking some accountability in this situation.
I do want a healthy relationship. Okay, I really do. More than anything, that's what I want.
then probably start dating guys that aren't on the toxic side.
I think I just still need a guy who, like, gives me a run for my money. I'm so the problem because, like, you're nice. Like, literally, like, Connor from Love Island vibes. But, like, it's just too nice.
I don't even have to say much here because they really said it all. Because that type of mentality is the problem and why so many women can't find healthy relationships. Because they want everything that goes with a healthy relationship, except the guy that would go with it.
I'm telling y'all, Matt.
Oh, goody goody. Yelling.
You guys need to freaking get it together because, oh my god, I want a family. I want kids.
Okay, and?
And you guys suck. You suck.
How so?
Like, in this generation, I am not getting the family that I want. Nor am I getting children because you guys suck.
Still waiting on that explanation as to why.
That's all. Like, do I have to marry someone twice my age because y'all little boys, however old you are, act like little children?
About that.
Because I don't want someone twice my age. But if that's what it freaking takes, like...
Like what? Just a thought. But individuals are not only attracted to what a person looks like, but how they behave. And if a person behaves in such a manner, it's no small wonder that they're not attracting individuals that are more emotionally mature.
You know, for somebody who has a high level of emotional intelligence and effective communication, as they say they do, quote unquote, modern women seem to always find a way to insult men over and over again. And then they get on the internet and make videos like this. I'm going to have to marry a man twice my age. You little boys are playing around. I'm not going to be able to have a family in my generation. Maybe because you decide to insult men, you decide to put men down, you don't know how to talk to men. Men don't want to approach that. Men don't want to wife that. Men are not taking that home to anybody. Friends, family, dogs, cats, rats, snakes, nothing. A man is going to walk away from marrying you every single time. A man is just, if he hears something like that, he's just going to say single. He's going to walk away altogether. Men are going their own way. That's what MGTOW is. Men going their own way because of foolishness like this. You can't even see how you're getting in your own way and why men don't approach. No self-awareness.
If a man ever says something about like going 50-50, don't date him. If he doesn't pay for the meal, don't ever go on another date with him.
But why not?
Men that are financially stable are happy to pay for a date with you. And men that value women that see you as potential wife material, they're gonna pay for your dates because they know the value that you bring.
They pay for the dates because of the value you bring. What value is that specifically?
Whole like 50-50. Men are high out of their mind if they really think we're gonna do that.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if some women only spoke for themselves and not for all women?
My husband paid for every single date we went. I don't think that women can really take men seriously when they don't pay for the dates.
And I can't take a single person seriously who actually has the audacity and arrogance to try to speak for an entire demographic.
Can you really respect a guy that doesn't pay for your meal on a date? Women will lose respect for you.
Oh, will they now?
This whole 50-50 thing is such a joke. Mind you, I'm an attorney. I believe women can be powerhouses. I believe you can be career driven. But as women...
Ah, yes. Here it comes.
We still want a man that's going to pay for us. Even if you're going to work, you still want a man that is financially stable, that will pay for you. So yeah, if any man ever says this, oh, please run. Run far from him and block his number.
I just love seeing all the advice that's out there on the best ways to actually remain single.
Men don't have a say in women's life.
What a fascinating perspective that is.
This empowerment of women in any way contributes to their own objectification.
I can't wait to see if any of their opinions are actually based in reality.
No.
Guess not.
Does the fact that porn and OnlyFans exist prove that women are okay being objectified as long as they're getting paid?
And who wants to guess what their next answer is?
No! It means that we can use our body the way that we want to without men's control.
Do you consider work to be real work?
I'm sure their next answer will come as no surprise.
Yes. Yes. And if you don't, you suck.
Why are women more accepting of women who can sell but are less likely to accept a man who can buy it?
Ooh, this ought to be good.
Because it's empowering to be able to do what you want with your body when you want to be able to do it.
But isn't that like shaming your own customers?
No.
Well, how can you be a victim of your own product?
Because it's my body.
The Cheshire Cat-like smile really sells it, doesn't it?
Boys need to understand one thing.
And what's that?
If your girl's not stalking you, then your girl does not love you, my friend.
What? No, I'm sorry, that type of behavior is toxic and should be avoided at all costs. That's actually called obsession. Run.
Your girl stalking you is the highest achievement that you can have as a male.
What an achievement that would be. Attracting someone who is obviously rather unhinged. Oh my goodness. Something to be proud of indeed.
If she's not monitoring your every move, then she really doesn't give a shit about you.
Please tell me that this is some form of satire.
When your girl stops stalking you, it's all over for you, my friend.
Yeah, no. While this may have meant to be a joke, do remember that there are individuals out there that will actually take this type of stuff seriously and actually believe that obsessive stalking type behavior is somehow equivalent to a person loving them. Remember, that is not healthy behavior and should be avoided at all costs.
If your wife works, I just want to let you know, as a man, you have failed.
Interesting. But how so?
Now, it's one thing to both be working towards a life where you can allow her to not work and you're just on your way there, but it's a whole nother thing to want your wife to work, which a ton of you on this platform do, and I don't understand it.
So, since someone doesn't understand it, naturally, the following phrase would be uttered.
Shame on all of you guys who make your wife go back to work after having a child. You make her go on maternity leave, enjoy all of the positive things of being a stay-at-home mother, and then make her go back to work.
Make her go back to work. They're making it sound like the man is the only one in the relationship that makes the decisions. How lovely.
Why? Just so you can afford a few more toys? Oh, so you can afford your truck? So you can afford another boat?
I'm starting to think that this person is under the false impression that most people, especially in America, make enough money to be able to even afford one boat. Right.
Even come at me with, in this economy, both people have to work. No, that's not true.
I wonder, where are they living?
Both people have to work if you need to pay for daycare. But if you don't need to pay for daycare, one income can do it.
In some cases, but definitely not in all.
The father's income, single income, doesn't cover it. You're living outside your means. You're buying things you can't afford. You're doing things other than advancing your career and finding a way to make more money. This, like everything else in life, is a skill issue. I will not allow anyone on social media to gaslight me or anyone else into believing that you need a dual income household. It is not true. It never will be.
It must be nice for some, mustn't it? That they actually think that such a statement would hold true for every single person. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
I refuse to split the bill on dates.
Oh? And why is that?
Because I'm actually splitting the bill before I even get to the date.
Fascinating. I wonder if the logic that's going to be used here is going to be even remotely different from any of the other videos that are a lot like this that we've seen before.
Let me explain myself.
Please do, because I have a feeling it's going to involve many things that one would do normally on a daily basis anyway, regardless if one is going out on a date or not. So therefore, that makes this video entirely pointless.
I'm spending money to show up. As soon as I have a date scheduled, I book a cycle bar class. Then I get my eyebrows done. I see Kaylin at Bespoke Brows because I am not bringing a unibrow to happy hour.
So what I'm hearing so far is that all of these activities are done specifically and only to impress a man.
Even though I don't think my date cares about what my hands look like, I feel the need to get a manicure.
Ah, yes, but I'm sure that one felt the need to add it to the bill anyway.
Even if I had my manicure and my brows done earlier in the week, it still takes a whole entire day to prepare for a date. Like planning my outfit, planning my hair wash schedule.
So far, I'm not really seeing the point. A person would normally do that if they're going out with friends, too. But I'm sure that one doesn't charge them for one's time.
Simply showering, doing my hair and makeup, and picking out an outfit could be 2 hours.
And with that, I think it would just be easier to say that one would prefer to charge by the hour.
Normalize hating your husband. Like, for real.
Hating. My goodness, are we trying to normalize hating a spouse now? I can't wait to hear the rest of this.
It's okay to go through about a minute, half a day, couple hours, a full day, even a week. I'm just like, I can't stand you right now.
Did they change another definition? Did they change the definition of what hate actually means? Because not being able to stand someone for a brief period of time absolutely does not mean hating.
But deep down or in the back of your head, it might be all the way down in your toes at this point, you know I love you so much. And I know we're in this together, we're just in the thick of it.
It's almost like one just admitted that one didn't use the word hate properly in the first place. Remember, words have real meanings. And I'm personally just getting a little bit tired of individuals choosing particular words just because they grab people's attention without actually taking any consideration whatsoever into what those words actually mean. Bring back dictionaries to the common curriculum. It'll help.
Why are men not wanting to get married? Why are men deciding to stay single? Why are men not approaching women? Why are men walking away? Why are men going their own way? Do you hear what you just said? Normalize hating your spouse, the man that paid for an expensive engagement ring, the man that helped pay or did pay for an expensive wedding on average, the man that continues to have to take care of the bills. That's what you want, right? That has to continue to take care of all of the heavy manual labor day in and day out, has to be your masseuse, has to be your quote unquote peace, your help in the time of trouble, has to be all things to you, but you hate him. Then you want to ask the question, is chivalry dead? Where are the rich men? Where are all the provider men? Where are the generous men? I need me a provider man. I need me a provider husband. These women get so upset that men don't want to help them anymore. Y'all don't listen to yourselves.
The pick-me women in my comments on the videos about the bear are hilarious.
Oh yes, I'm sure that it is. Just as much as that it's still equally hilarious that there are still individuals out there that can't handle another person's difference of opinion and have to resort to name-calling. But why exactly, I wonder, are these women being called pick-me's this time?
They're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I would pick the man. You guys would pick the bear? I'd pick the man every time. Yeah.
Well, that was interesting. And what exactly is one's retort?
Yeah, but the man isn't picking you, is he, babe? The men still aren't picking you. And you're still safer with the bears.
Well, that just solidified the whole argument right there and made it abundantly clear that those women who choose the bear will only support other women who think in the exact same manner and can't handle any differences of opinion whatsoever, and will resort to shaming tactics of actually trying to indicate that being single is a bad thing. Since when has those type of tactics ever actually managed to change a person's mind?
Passport bros are a joke.
Interesting opinion. And why is that?
Y'all go to a whole nother country where people barely speak English.
Yeah, it's only mainly in the US where most people only speak one language. But go on.
Anyone that agrees with what the passport bros are doing are a joke.
What's the joke? I like to laugh.
Y'all just mad because y'all can't handle a strong-minded woman.
This might come as a complete shock, but it's not the strong-mindedness that many men don't find appealing. It's the attitude. Because a bad attitude doesn't equal a strong mind.
So y'all go somewhere where y'all can do whatever the f*** want and be like, oh yeah, she loves me.
Perhaps they just want a partner who hasn't been completely taken in by the toxicity of what is considered modern feminism these days, and actually just want a partner who's going to love them for who they are, instead of having to worry about if that person is going to take them for all of their money, insist that they take care of them even though they have nothing to offer other than their looks, or, for that matter, just have a bad attitude in general. That doesn't make them pathetic. That makes them have standards.
Right here is broke. He's broke. Look at him. Look at him.
Seems like a great start to a date, doesn't it?
Let me take you home. Let me take you back home.
Home?
Yeah, home. Because she certainly doesn't deserve a date.
Back home. Make yourself some cup noodles.
Cup of noodles. Love it.
You want to take me home? I look like this in your car right now and you want to take me home.
I'm gonna be nice.
You sure about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can get any other date, right? Just like you said, you can get any dude to come and pay for your meal and take you out of money, right?
I like this guy.
You can get that at any time, right?
So now we're not going on the date because you don't want to pay more than Starbucks.
Oh, it's not that. So money's no option.
So if money's no option, then why aren't we going on a date? Like an actual date?
Because one, you trying to put me on blast. Like you got your phone out filming this interaction right now.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting pranked at this point. Like, it feels like it's not real because I've never had a grown man take me to Starbucks for a date. What is this, high school?
You've had a grown man in general.
Facts.
You know, you acting little on the picture, but you expect me to take you to some 5-star restaurant. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do you one better. I'm not even gonna take you home.
No, what?
Any dude come and get you and take you out, right? Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and make sure that's the case.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Ladies, take a lesson. For those of you that like to act entitled to everything, just remember, that could be you.
Who's gonna protect you if all the men are gone? If all the men are gone, we won't need protection.
They really just said that, didn't they? That's actually quite impressive, really, if a person thinks about it. That there are individuals out there that have such large amounts of self-confidence that they are willing to announce to the world that they are permanently entrenched in a reality of their own creation in which they would never let facts, reasoning, or logic intrude upon their bigoted opinions. So hats off to those individuals for having such personal fortitude and are so willing to announce to the world what they truly are.
I made a pretty bold statement a while ago saying that I refuse to be friends with ugly people and none of my friends are ugly.
Well, that certainly does constitute what many would consider to be a bold statement. And now I'm just curious to hear more.
Instead of asking me why, they asked me what is ugly to me and what my definition of ugly is. So this is exactly what I'm going to explain to you.
Yes, well, let's hear it.
I believe anyone can be ugly if they choose to be.
True, and I think the proof of that will be forthcoming.
I've woken up this morning that not wash my hair, not blow dry it, not do my skincare, not put makeup on, not put contacts on, put on some bummy clothes. In addition to taking care of yourself physically, I need people around me who really care for themselves mentally because
Indeed, and I can think of some individuals that they should probably stay away from.
the second thing that can make someone ugly is insecurity. And
Until this moment, I wasn't actually aware that self-centeredness could be so concentrated that it would actually manifest into human form. But here we are. But just remember this, the only thing that makes a person truly unattractive isn't what they look like, it's how they treat others.
In 2024, can we stop this whole narrative that the mother of your child is keeping your kids from you?
No, we can't. Because it's not just a narrative. Because there are some women out there that actually use their children as leverage against those children's fathers and do actively seek to keep them from them.
If you wanted to see your kids, you would. And a lot of you don't see your kids because you literally do not ask to see them.
Some men don't. That's true. But the majority of them do actually want to spend time with their children.
It's not the mother of your child's responsibility to ask you if you want to see your own kids. And if the mother of your child doesn't ask you if you want to see your own kids, it doesn't mean she's keeping your kids from you. And if the court doesn't grant you custody, it literally means you're an unfit father. That is your fault. It is not the mother of your child's fault.
Huh. Really? Is that what it means? So I guess by that same logic, if a woman, in many cases like a lot of men, don't have the money to fight for the custody of their child in court, then that means that they're also an unfit mother, right?
It's not like she rigged the court system.
Well, she personally didn't, but I guess one didn't do any research into this matter before speaking on it, because otherwise one would have known that in the majority of court cases involving child custody, most often the woman is awarded the majority of the custody. Huh.
This entire narrative of the mother of my child is keeping my kids from me is just another way to shift the blame to the woman, yet again.
And this seems to be just another video disparaging and generalizing men, so there's that.
Instead of taking accountability and saying, I abandon my responsibility to my child, it is your job as a father to text the mother of your child and ask to see your children.
I wonder where it could be coming from that one would actually assume that the majority of men don't actually do that.
Instead of taking accountability, again, y'all will shift the blame to the woman and then hate every single woman that's in your path when you are literally the issue. You are the problem in your own life.
This is all rather sounding like it's coming from a place of personal experience rather than any knowledge of the overall subject.
You create these problems and look for somebody to blame, then go and blame the mother of your child. Because instead of admitting that you're not a man and you abandon your responsibility to your child, you'll blame the mother of your child.
I think we all can agree that there are a lot of fathers out there that do not make any effort to see their kids. And those are the exception. They're not the rule. So when I see a video like this that is trying to paint all fathers with the same brush, saying that the reason they don't see their kids is their own fault, I do have to stand up and say something, because it is absolutely not a narrative that some women are in fact keeping their kids from their fathers. It is actually a fact.
You're telling me you're in a fight with your man, and you say, babe, I just don't even want to talk anymore, give me some space. And he actually gives you space.
I don't suppose that the outcome of this little scenario is that the woman was pleased that the man listened to what she had to say, respected her wishes, and gave her that needed space, is it?
Like, obviously I want to talk.
Based on what? The words that one used? Oh, no, wait. This is one of those instances when men are actually supposed to be mind readers and know what some women actually mean instead of the words that actually come out of their mouth.
Like, obviously, I want you to be like, no, like we're talking.
Then obviously, a person should use the words that they actually mean to express their feelings, wants, and desires. What a fantastical idea.
Do you, was I not clear?
No, in point of fact, one was being the very opposite of clear. One was not only being vague, but acting in such an infantile manner as to seemingly encourage men in some cases to completely disregard what some women have to say when it comes to their wants and needs. Oh yes, I couldn't see what could go possibly wrong with that.
Men can't believe that women are single by choice because men aren't single by choice.
What an interesting statement. I cannot wait to hear what one is basing that off of.
They may be finding women to go on dates with, but nothing's sticking.
Okay, well that happens for women as well. So what exactly is this leading up to?
And so they're lashing out at women saying things like, have fun being single or enjoy your cats.
Not all men say things like that.
Sir, that's the whole point, is that I am having fun being single and I love my cats.
So that means that one is single by choice, right? So why can a woman be single by choice, but not a man?
I also love my peace of mind, not having to be accountable to somebody who isn't really that interested. He's not interested in me and my life and things that I want and need.
And there it is. That is actually the reason why a lot of men are now choosing to remain single, for that very reason.
As men age alone, it is not good.
Oh, really?
And the men are not okay. But I'm finding that as I age, I am getting happier and happier with myself and my girlfriends and my family. And the idea of having to accommodate a man's insecurities or even securities is just less and less appealing.
And with that, one actually nailed the reason why a lot of men are also choosing to remain single. Because oftentimes, it's simply more peaceful. It's as simple as that.